Our heroes are in the midst of disrupting a ritual that was attempting to tear open a new world wound into Golarion and let the demon lord Urkshul rise to the surface from the abyss. When we ended last week, they had found this site here where there were the 5 trolls chained to glowing runes and a levitating spirit in the middle. The spirit looked a lot like the spirit they fought 2 sessions ago when it was possessing one of the leaders of the Pathfinder Society. It's a cyclopean robed figure with a glowing red eye and looks like no legs. It looks like the upper body is much more defined and the lower body kind of just becomes the cloak and then billows away into smoke. They've been fighting him here. They've been going around noticing that as um, they're able to disable the runes, which seems to take power away from this demonic spirit. Around each rune was a chained troll that seemed like it was maybe powering the ritual, maybe protecting the runes. They can't quite tell. And when they would kill a troll, it never regenerated. It just instantly sucked in on itself, and you saw like it turned to smoke and ash and stream into the fire pit. Near the end of the session, Daegron, our fighter here, raced in, taking some damage, crossing the wall of fire to try to engage the spirit directly, and sees a giant figure, almost the size of the entire chasm, climbing out of the pit. And as we pick up, I do need to give everyone a bonus hero point. Thank you, Draconic. There we go.
Thank you.
Everyone has 2 now. And it's Libbiel's turn at the top of round 6.
Okay, so we have only one left of these things. So let's dash over. And wrong tool. Let's go. Um we're going to use the 2 actions to disable this rune. Come on. We're going to use the Minkadine War. Let's go. I didn't mean to roll it like that,
That's
but
fine.
fine.
That is a success. All of the runes are now off. Let me copy my masking tool. Okay, all the runes are off. And that was your whole turn, I believe. 1 action
Yep, that's
stride, 2
everything
action
else.
disable device.
I
The
mean, Thea has an action, but they don't use it.
If you want Bia to do something, you can tell me what it is.
Dance on my hat.
Okay. Bia is dancing on your hat. The spirit is up next. And let's see. I have to. Well, he does not like Daegron being right here. So I think he is going to claw at you with his spectral hand. Now he has to be adjacent to you. He no longer has, well, he has some reach, but not as much reach as he used to have. And he knows that you have a reactive strike, so he's not trying to get away from you at the moment. And that is a 40 against your AC, which looks like that is a
Yeah, that'll
crit.
do it.
For 38 points of damage, and I will need a fortitude save, as he still feels like he's trying to pull something out of you that's not corporeal. But you
31.
save against that, so you do not get more affected. That was its first action. Second one, it's going to try to claw you a second time. Another strong roll, another hit. Just misses being a crit. For 27 points of damage and another fort save.
Just puts me down.
So your initiative is going to go right before him now. And that is a fail. You are also going to be drained 2. I think you were drained 1 already, right? Yes.
Yep.
If you can increase that. And he now has an action left. He can no longer fly. I think he's going to move. Well, he can't get to Libbiel very easily, so he's going to move to try to intercept help coming to Daegron. Vanarel.
All right. Well, hopefully I will be help coming to Daegron. Not looking or feeling my best right now, though. And this fire, at least when we watched Daegron go through, he sort of burnt up a little bit, if I remember right, or took some kind of damage.
That's correct.
Am I remembering that? Okay. I think for my first action, I am going to have to interact to swap out one of my hammers for an elixir of life that I have, because I think I'm going to eat damage going through that ring in a second. So I will do that. Second will be to drink said elixir, getting a whopping 15 back. And third action. All right, I was a filthy, filthy liar. I am not able to help Daegron this turn. Third action, I can still see this thing through the ring of fire. Is that
Yes.
right, or do I have to? Okay. In which case, I'm going to line this thing up now as my my hunted prey.
It
It was
might
already.
it might have some. I think you already hunted it.
Have I? Because I've been dealing with all the trolls outside here.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you have not
Well, maybe
hunted it.
not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
my three.
I might give it some concealment when it comes to targeting through, but it's definitely enough to hunt prey on it, so that's not a problem.
Sure. Okay.
Dezi.
Well, I think I have a more urgent need than anything else I was thinking of doing. So I'm going to move. Can I squeeze in there without passing through?
I'd say that is going to be in the fire. If you want to be there, that would be outside.
Okay, that actually works. And I will cast a 2-action heal on Daegron. That is 50 healing.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
One of the trolls is up next. Let me see. It's the one who has nothing to do. It's the one at the 9 o'clock position on the far side of the ring, well away from all of you. The party is currently Libbiel's at 12 o'clock, Dezi's around 4 o'clock, Vanarel's at 6, and then the Spirit and Daegron are inside this giant, about 100-foot diameter ring. And that troll's on the far side, and it's chained to a pole and can't do anything. The other one, though, is chained to a pole right next to Libbiel. So we're now at the northern troll. It is 5 feet
Please be
away,
gentle.
but it does have reach. And trolls do not really know how to be gentle usually. So let's see what happens here. Three bites. Bite
I'm
number one,
incredibly fragile, don't.
25 against AC for 16 points of damage on the first bite. On the
Ow.
second is a 23 against AC for a second hit
Mm-hmm.
for 18
Ow.
points of damage. And a third bite with a 12 against AC, which will miss.
Yay.
And round 7, Libbiel.
Okay, I am going to take one action to move into here.
Give me a
You'll
will
take damage
save.
going through the thing. Okay.
Will save. Okay.
That is a critical success. No, sorry, that's a regular success. So you will take 1d6 points of fire damage, 5 points of fire damage.
Okay, I will just remove that from my HP since that's not something I can just take damage from. Ow.
You have 2 actions left.
I'm going to use one action to give Bumblebee an action. And Bumblebee is going to use Medic, which casts a spell once per day and it's a heal. I can only use first level heal, but it's something. First level heal. Thank you, Bia. Not a lot, but it will help. And for my last trick, I will can I peer over this edge and see what's happening down here?
You can look down there, yeah, if you wanna. I'll reshare the artwork of the thing that's climbing up slowly.
Okay, I'm going to try to like use a knowledge check to determine um who is exactly climbing up here and what sort of weaknesses I can expect to exploit from this
Sure.
creature. Would Mim Kevdeen lore come
Not for
into
this
play
one.
here?
For this one,
Okay.
I think religion is best. I would allow occultism as well in this particular case.
Okay. I didn't mean to roll it like that.
That's fine. You're not sure. This is definitely a demon of some kind. It doesn't match any particular one you've heard of before, so you could easily believe this could be Urkshul, a demon lord. If it's not him, it's at least a named demon that's more unique, doesn't exactly share a body type as any other demon. The one thing that's odd about it right now, it does feel like this chasm in some way is a portal that it's trying to like force its way through. And the portal looks impossibly deep. And that arm that you see kind of in the picture almost looks like it's being elongated, as maybe it's made it through the portal, but the rest of the body has not at this point.
Okay. Um, I don't know if I can dig further, but is it possible to determine if there's a way I could maybe prevent this portal from being open? Like if I could shut it off?
You can tell something about the ritual that is being conducted by the spirit is channeling the energy to help hold it open. You think maybe even that's where the troll's life forces were going to prolong and preserve and strengthen this opening.
Okay. That'll be my turn then.
Okay, Daegron.
Okay, not a too complicated of a turn as he kind of wakes up from being knocked to the ground. He'll grab hold of his axe, right himself here, and then try to swing up at this spirit. Try to even the fight as much as he can. And I'm going to re-roll a natural 4. So I've got a couple hero points. A 33.
Okay, a 4 to a 14 on the die. That's a nice roll. That's a hit.
That will be not great. 14 points of slashing.
Only took 4 of it.
Yep. And
You,
so he's standing, and that'll be all 3.
and he is up next. That was a very fast round. The spirit is looking, trying to decide how it wants to deal with this. It knows you just came back up. It saw that Dezi was the one who did the healing, though. He's going to step away from you, and he is then going to. Yeah, he's going to move over. See, his speed is enough to do, I believe, that much. Nope, it's not. Now that he can't fly, he can only get to there. He has to stop in the fire. And so he'll have to make a save against the fire as well, I think. Nope, he doesn't have to.
Well, he did okay.
Yep, he still has 10-foot reach.
Yikes,
He doesn't have
fine.
20-foot reach anymore, so he does have one claw attack coming at Dezi. A 30
Yay.
against AC is a hit for 17 points of void damage, and I need a fortitude save. You are now drained 1 as well, as he seems to pull something out of you. And, however, though, he now changes. He looks, suddenly, you see legs form underneath him. You see the spectralness go away. He still has the glowing pink, red eye. That doesn't seem to fill in and become real. But he has lost the incorporealness. He might have gained some other things, but he looks much more physical than he was before.
Good, you guys, get him quick.
And that was his turn. Vanarel.
All right. I guess I will get him quick, especially that he's a lot closer now. All right. So, in the spirit of keeping my hands occupied, I do have to use an action to get my one of my hammers back out. It did have a potion until a second ago. I will leave that bottle on the ground and make sure to pick it up later. We must not let her inside the evil demon fire rings. Second action, we'll get to grab here next to him. And for the third, I will see if his new solid-looking shape means he gets damaged completely when I do all of the flurrying upon him. Looks like I might have done pretty okay. 28 and a 35.
That looks like a hit and a crit.
Wonderful. Please enjoy 47 points of damage. Strange one-eyed demon thing.
I don't think he's going to enjoy that. He took all of that. You notice the health bar barely moved, but he got a big pile of temp HP when he became solid.
Ah.
So you
He has
basically ate through
proficiency
most of that.
He might be
He's not.
stunned.
Yeah, he's not incorporeal anymore.
Yeah.
Can he be knocked down?
Oh, yes, he can. Let me
Oh,
do
good.
that save.
Please, demon guy, demonstrate for us to. Oh.
He stays standing.
All right. That's all three of my actions.
Dezi.
Okay, well, these things constantly. Oh, actually, that's a good idea. Okay. I still feel like he's undead, though. Correct?
You still feel like he is. He still has the undead trait. That is true.
Oh, okay. I don't love being here. I think I'm going to move away. I think that's a better idea here. So I will stride a little bit back. Yeah, there seems fine. Actually, there's fine for reasons, no reason. And then I will reload and cast shield.
Okay, both trolls have nothing to do. Libbiel.
Well, I would have used Phantasmal Killer on him, but I know his will save's very high now. So instead, I think I'm going to Force Barrage on him. Which is not a very damaging spell, since it's a second level casting of it. But let's go.
I think you said Force Barrage, right? Not Oaken Resilience?
Sorry. Maybe it. It's a first level of this. Never mind. And that's 3, yes.
Pretty decent rolls. Okay. He took the 12 points of damage from your 3 missiles, and it is Daegron's turn.
All right. Seeing that he's now flesh and blood, sounds great. He's going to go charging in opposite Vanarel here, and he's going to attempt a slam down on him. So he's going to bring the axe up high with a 35 to hit.
That will hit.
19 points of slashing, and then the trip attempt here as he tries to sweep his legs out. Yeah, I'm gonna reroll it.
Natural 1, yes.
Yeah,
That is now a
for a
success, so
32.
he is now prone. 32 against his reflex DC.
Better than you.
And
Dave.
that'll be all 3.
Just barely tripped him. It looked like he almost avoided that.
Yeah, he just sweeps the leg out with his with the backswing from the axe, and he falls down into the fire.
Yeah, he doesn't like this. He knows what you can do, but he's going to have to stand up. So he stands up.
Okay,
Surprise,
well
surprise.
that's both us.
Yep, he's gonna find out what I can do too.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
I don't think he had seen Vanarel's
37
in either of the 2
hit.
fights with him. That was a crit from Daegron and a hit from Vanarel.
Bad damage roll. 22 points of damage. He is immobilized now.
And 11 from me.
I got both of those. And let's see, he is clumsy 1 and immobilized. He is not happy here. He has
Becoming
2...
flesh and blood did not work out well
no,
for
it
him.
did not. He has 2 actions left. And I think he's going to go for Daegron with both of them.
Yep.
First claw is a 33 against AC, which looks like a hit.
Yep.
For 17 points of damage, and the second claw.
27 will hit.
Exactly on the nose.
Still up. we're just kicking.
And that was his turn. Vanarel.
Did he break out?
No,
He was
It's not
immobilized
restrained,
and-
it's not
immobilized.
restrained, just immobilized.
right.
He can't move.
But you said he stood up.
The
So he can
he
stand up.
got immobilized after standing up.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay, sorry.
Right. All right. Well, here he is, and here I am, and he has these new legs, which he obviously doesn't know what to do with. He's been tripped on them and clobbered pretty badly. So I'm gonna start my first action with doing the twin takedown flurry, and hopefully, like 2 more connections.
That's another hit and a
Oh.
crit.
Oh, all
looks
right.
like. So the damage roll looks like it combined the 2 already. Yep, there we go.
44.
You have defeated him.
Back into the flames.
The fires here flare up even more and arc into that pit and then kind of recoil back out, almost like making a torus shape, like almost a donut shaped ring of fire right now, or like almost a bunt pan, I guess, more like it. How's that for imagery for the demon coming out of a bunt pan? But
Even bigger.
the fires are spreading and flaring up. It's not even doing any more damage, but it does seem like it is much hotter than it was, but not mechanically in a way you have to make saves from. The other 2 trolls just get consumed instantly and are shredded into oblivion. That's what you see happen at the moment. You have actions left, Vanarel.
Yeah. I have 2 more.
Can you, if you can patch me up? I don't know. I wouldn't pass through the circle to patch Daegron up quite yet, but I don't know.
I mean, my thought was to get over and patch
Okay,
Daegron
go
just
ahead
because he's
then.
in such
Yep.
bad shape.
Makes sense. Go ahead.
So I will cross through the flame. Maybe if I cross through where the demon was, it won't be as bad. Like he extinguished him
Jump
on the
over
fire.
his body.
Yeah. I'll do that.
Give me your will save.
Yeah, I thought there might be. Will save. I have one of those. Super good at them too. 25.
That's a success, so you're just taking a
Good.
d6 of fire damage. Just 1 point of fire damage. I think the
Alright.
body was suppressing some of it for you.
I knew that would work. And then with my last action, I will battle medicine Daegron, having to drop the Warhammer to get a free hand to make this happen. I will utilize some really, really quick medicine skills. Like so. 29. That I could have gone for 20, but I defaulted in my brain to 15 without specifying. So
Okay. Yep. I think if you don't say, we're going to assume the 15. So that will be
Yeah.
the crit. So that's the 4d8.
Here, Daegron, have some healing back. I have 23 as I just jam bandages into the worst of your wounds.
Yeah, he's just on a knee, like spent. He was almost down, out of hero points, just barely standing up, and just kind of starts to get his feet back under him with this first aid.
Yeah, it's not over yet. I don't
De-
think.
Dezi.
Libby, how long we got there?
I will be checking in a second.
Okay. I guess I need to move to the inside at this point. So I don't actually I'll delay, at least for Libby. There's no rush for me to go at this point. So
Okay, you're moving until after Libby. Got it. Okay, Libbiel.
I'm gonna
Beginning of round
peer into the
9.
little evil hole of demonness.
Yeah, the hand is reaching out. You can see that there is a hand basically just as shown. There's a hand now on the surface. Most of the body is still what looks like impossibly below, like 100 feet, 200 feet. The arm looks like it is stretching across dimensions. It doesn't look misshapen. It doesn't look like it's a extendo arm. Your brain is really confused by what it is seeing, but you can tell that the demon itself is far away, but the hand is in this realm.
Okay.
can we hit that thing? I
The
don't know.
portal looks like it's stable.
It looks like it is collapsing.
Okay.
You would guess
So
1 to 3 rounds worth of time, just a matter of seconds before it closes, but you don't know exactly how long.
looks like we need to stall for time. Anyone want to like bap some fingers?
Libby, get over here.
No. I'm
Uh,
going to stall for time on this
okay, I
thing.
won't hit you then.
Yes. I think I'll be fine without a healing. I'm going to I'm going to cast floating flame and put it directly on the hand.
Okay. I will
So,
have it make a save.
oh,
It has a critical fail,
um,
so it's
I
taking
don't know if
double that.
it has critical fail effects.
Let's see. Does it say? It says basic reflex. So basic reflex would mean double on a crit fail.
Okay.
So, however, it had some resistance, so it took exactly as much as you rolled. It
Woo.
seems unlike a troll, he does not have a weakness to fire. Like most demons, he
Yeah.
has a resistance to it.
I can just the reason I picked this is because I could stick it on his hand and it'll stay there for a little while. And I think I'm going to discern secrets, and um, it immediately lets me do a knowledge check. I'm going to try to think about like how I would disrupt a ritual like this quicker. So let's do this as a blind roll, please.
You don't know if there's much you can do to disrupt it quicker. You think that the efforts earlier in the forest at working on all the different ritual sites, it feels like you've already undermined this ritual to a very high degree. And then having defeated the demonic spirit, it's lost its linchpin, it's lost the centerpiece that is holding it together. So the whole ritual is unraveling. You don't think if you
Okay.
just walk away, it's smart. It's possible it would close without any intervention, but you think trying to at least, you know, corral or do as much damage as you can to try to keep it focused on you instead of just climbing out might be a beneficial thing.
Yeah. Seriously, bap the hand, please.
Okay.
Dezi,
Okay. Well, I've yelled fire in the hole, but holy light in the hole or holy cascade in the hole. Will huck a holy water directly on top of slash into the hole on the hand, and it'll blow up there. So yeah, I'm assuming you're good. I'll roll for damage, I
yeah,
guess.
you go ahead. I was saying we are going to have cover, so give me a D5 flat, DC5 flat check for targeting through the
I,
fire.
I mean, this is an AOE,
Oh, it's an
right?
AOE. Never mind
There's
then.
no
Yep,
target. Yeah.
yep. I will roll. Failed. 20. It took extra damage from the holy,
Holy Spirit. Okay, yeah.
and it
Okay.
took. Oh, it did the same thing we just saw this last week. It doubled its.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
I need to give
it's
it 10
worth
back.
it. Okay. Yeah. I know you all can't hit it with holy, but that seems to work well. Maybe the cold iron will do something. And I will cast shield as my last action. Sorry, and that
And
14 and
you
22
notice
damage.
that the damage you did there, between what you did and Libbiel did, you seem to have crippled one finger.
Which finger did we cripple?
The pinky finger.
Fine.
Oh,
No, the weakest finger.
Mechanically, it had been quickened. Now it only gets 3 actions. It only has 3 non-thumbs to work with.
Oh, only 3. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yep. Do you have? That was all yours. So Daegron.
Okay. Trying not to just immediately die by going back in, he pulls a healing potion from his belt loop, and he will drink this here for 23 points of healing. And then he will not get right up there, but he'll get close enough that he can support Vanarel easily next turn. And that'll be all
Okay.
3.
Okay. So it is the Hand of Urkshal's turn. It has 3 actions because you did enough damage to incapacitate the pinky finger. It now has no speed. It can't go anywhere, but it does have. It does have. What is that reaction? Oh, when you did enough damage to cause a finger to be uh, incapacitated, it did grip the earth stronger, causing an earthquake in the minor area here. I need all of you to give me a reflex save.
like
Ugh.
Right. Holding
saves are
steady.
not private. Yeah.
It's if so, Libbiel, you had a natural 20, so that was I'll reveal this to everyone for you, so you know you actually had a natural 20. Daegron, so you're gonna have to go back to where you started from because you would have been prone
Yeah,
at
I
the
was
beginning
going
of
to
your
say.
turn.
So what right here?
Yep. And so, but then you would have stood up and done what you did.
Yep, it would
No
have been
one
the same.
else is not. Everyone else was either. Everyone else. Vanarel had a success that became a critical success. Dezi had a regular success. Libbiel had a critical success. And it now has its 3 actions, and it is going to send its fingers or its fingernails. It seemed to grow off of the hand and stretch abnormally long. It's going to send one after each of the people inside the circle here, with Libbiel being the closest, so the first one is going after Libbiel.
Oh no.
And that's a 24 against AC, which looks like it just hits you.
Mm-hmm.
For 23 points of damage.
Uh,
Oh, down to dying 2 because you were already wounded 1. The next fingernail goes after Vanarel with a natural 1. And the final finger,
Ooh.
so a natural 1 ended up being a 16. And then the third attack goes after Daegron with a 24, which just misses, it looks like. And that was its turn. Vanarel.
All right. Action 1, pick up my hammer off the ground that was being used. Well, I dropped it so I could heal Daegron. This is a new and exciting, strange thing. So I will use my second action. I will designate this thing as the hand as my hunted prey, as my hunted hand. And third action, I'm able to close in on it. Although it seems like he can get me from wherever, I'll still just wait here 10 feet away from it.
I need a will save from you as you got
Oh.
too close to it.
Oh. Moving up here is a terrible idea. Why did I do that?
That is a failure. 19.
19. I'm gonna re-roll that just because I have an innate fear of demon will saves. I feel like it's important to get this one. Oh, and get a
Okay,
nice shot with
that
it.
is a
Natural 20.
critical success. And that's with the natural 20. Okay, so that was your whole turn, though, I believe, correct?
That
Pick
was
up
me, yes.
hammer.
Yep,
Yep,
designated
okay.
as my prey and move closer.
Libbiel. Your initiative has to move to right before it. Then we're up to Dezi.
Okay. I think I have to pass through the circle now, even though I don't want to. So I will stride through the circle.
Give me a will save. That is a success, so 1d6 of fire damage. 6 points. It does feel like the fire is starting to subside. You feel like it is burning out. It's no longer arcing into the abyss and back. It feels like it is fading into the ground.
As far as I've seen, this thing has hit all of us, so I'm gonna go to. Right about that. Sorry. That seems lovely. I'm gonna target this thing with a. We need to deal with this. I'm gonna get to you in a second, Libby. Sorry, but I'm gonna cast a divine lance and try to hit it.
22 will miss.
I'll leave it. Okay, that was my turn.
Daegron.
Okay, with a bellow, Daegron will go forward.
I will need the will
And
save
attempt.
from you.
Yeah, let's do one of these.
That is a failure.
Yep.
You taking that?
Yeah, I can't do anything
Okay.
about him.
12 points of spirit damage, and you are frightened 1. Do you
All
have
right,
bravery,
and as
though,
he gets
to
close, yes,
skip
I do
that?
have bravery.
So I think we skipped that, right?
Yep, it immediately goes down 1. And then from there, he will attempt a snagging strike by grabbing hold and just trying to hack one of the fingers free.
That will hit.
18 points of slashing. And then with another swing, he brings it down again. Oh, let me see there. My prone should be removed. So that would be all of them, right? Yeah, because I got knocked down last time.
Yes. So that's
I
everything
would have
then
done
right
that
now.
before. I'm assuming a 33 wouldn't have been different.
No different.
Okay. And so that'll be all 3 stand, stride, and strike.
Libbiel, we need a death save. You are dying 2, so
Libbiel
it's DC 12.
gurgles on the ground, the comedic foam coming out of her mouth, and
Dying
dies a little
3.
more.
And the hand has 3 actions again. It sends 1 after Daegron. With a natural 20. Doing 48 points of damage to Daegron,
Yep, dying 3.
who goes to dying 3. As the portal slams shut, amputating that last finger that had attacked you. That is out of here. The portal is gone. The flames disappear. The crevice is no more. We are staying in initiative because we have 2 people at dying 3, I believe. Dying 2, you're dying 3 or dying 2, Daegron?
I'm dying 3.
Yeah, we have 2 people at dying 3.
Yeah, dying 3 because I was wounded 1 and I was crit.
Yep. Vanarel.
Okay, so the giant fissure is no longer a thing. It is closed up.
Yes.
Okay.
I go before them. I'm going to 3 action heal, and everyone's within 30.
Well, I mean, if we're keeping in rounds, my action is still
Sure,
just to,
yeah.
drop hammers and just use a first aid just to stabilize, because I can't use battle medicine again on Daegron. He's it's been well too soon
There's
for
no
that.
crit fail mechanic to that, right?
To stabilize?
There might
To
be.
stabilize,
There might be.
there's still a medicine roll.
I am dying
I-
3 and I have no hero points.
I do have a hero point. That's the only reason why I'm.
Why don't you
going
just
for
let
this
me 3? Just let me 3 action heal. That way, I can do that before they go.
Okay, sure, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're delaying Vanarel's turn. We're going to Dezi's turn right now.
Yes.
So everyone gets 20 back.
Okay. And in that case, we can now leave combat. There is no one. We have 2 people at wounded 2, but no one is dying, and the encounter is over.
Yeah, just Vanarel, I'd hate to have you double that one, just in case, yeah. Unlikely, but you never know.
You're telling me there's a shot.
So you're telling me that I got a shot. Now Daegron just like gasps back to life on the ground here. Just absolutely broken after being put down over and over in this fight.
Yeah, Libby just doesn't get up. It's going to lay there for a second.
Oh no, it's Libby. Oh wait, no, I think I see them breathing. It's probably okay. And Vanarel, Dezi kind of gazes at the really big chopped off finger and is like, no, that won't fit in the bag.
We're carrying around enough parts of demons already.
Can you, like, sanctify the shit out of that? Libby says from the ground.
So
Probably not meaningful. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So outside, you do hear the sounds of battle, but you start hearing more and more cheers from what sounds like other Pathfinders, from Dalamian, from the other elves, and you do see other people slowly filtering their way in here. They all look equally bloodied, if not more so, to the 4 of you. I guess aside from Dezi, who looks almost pristine here. They Their eyes are definitely staring at both Libbiel and Daegron, quiet for a moment until they see that they are still both moving. And um, at the now fading ritual circle that still has all those runes, both inside and outside, scored and charred into the earth, but they're no longer glowing. There's no fire. I don't have fun foundry effects to get rid of all of them. Let me get rid of one of the other glows here, though. Where's that glow coming from?
I mean, There's one from Dezi.
Oh, I think it is the one from Dezi. I had
Yeah, sorry,
three. I had three. I thought I deleted my three, but I think it's just Dezi's that's causing. Okay, no problem. So they're all staring at you. They're staring at the giant demonic finger on the ground. Um, they're looking. Is it over?
I think
Gonna hold up
so.
a thumbs up.
Which thumb?
Left one, I think.
It seems like the portal is closed. I'll try to, figure out if I think this is permanently closed at this point or not.
You can give me a roll for that. You think the demonic spirit cashed in centuries worth of energy and plans to open this. You can't say that it's never going to reopen, but it sure feels like this has set it back hundreds of years at least, or need a whole different approach.
Yeah, I think we're good unless it finds a way to repower its way into this world. But I think we give it ourselves, 1,000 years or so, and hopefully we can stop that even from happening. If it
Yeah,
decides
just put a
to
flag
force
on
it.
this site as like troublesome area.
1,000 years, we'll come back and deal with it, I'm sure.
Yeah, you see most of the humans in the group feeling like we've won forever, where you do see the Elven contingent and Eindo, who's human but also seems to take the long view, that they're already talking about how do we protect against the 1,000-year plan and how do we make sure that's not forgotten. And they seem to take that seriously, where the everyone else in all the other agents here with you are just cheering, thinking they have won forever.
Libby's also kind of like, well, it's gone for now, I guess.
Eindo does come over and wants to hear about, so what was happening here? How did you stop it? What happened?
Well, the ritual sites helped. There was a ghost cyclops that was being fueled by trolls chained to those sigil areas over there that was powering the ritual. But when we got rid of the ghost cyclops, which solidified at some point, it's ended the ritual and the portal itself started closing. But you see the big finger, it got kind of a hand through first. It got its hand in the door, I guess you could say.
This finger came from Urkshul or a demon? Do you know?
Pretty sure it was
Is the
Urkshall.
demon?
It was a big one. Yeah, I think you said that was Urkshul.
Well, that's who they were trying to get.
I'm being honest, I only ever saw its hand, but
I only saw it for a bit before I was back down on the ground again. So the demon lord tracks. That makes sense. That's the only thing that could really put me down.
And as you are talking, some of the other agents, some of the elves, Dalamian is directing some of her honor guard escorts to start healing all of you. You don't need to spend any of your own resources. You all will get healed to full here. And
as we're resting, Desi's mind is turning a little bit. And it's like, Delamy and where? Oh, of course. Hold on a second. And they'll start pulling things out of their pack. Oh, no, not the finger. There's the flower. No, that's not it. Don't touch that. It's dangerous. Oh, here it is. Um, and of course, down like that. That's why it sounds so familiar. That's her right there. And he points to the picture in the journal we got. She came to the island. I'll show it to Libbiel as well. Um,
I'm going to look. Yeah, I I think she. Yeah, the artist got her nose wrong.
yeah, it sticks out a little more, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it does seem like she's been looking for you for a while, or your parents, or your parents, I guess I should say.
Well, I guess I should probably go talk to the elves. Maybe. Do you think they have any better idea on how to get rid of incredibly cursed objects?
I don't know. Maybe though. I mean, they've been dealing with a demon problem for centuries.
Probably not many better sources of knowledge on the matter then. If anything, maybe you can get information.
And
Yeah.
she is here and she is staring at the severed finger of what is thought to be a demon lord and looking at the four of you with some sense of awe that you accomplished such a feat. You're I can't call you demon lord slayers, but you vanquished a demon lord? How did you do it?
We shut a door on it. It's not as big of a deal as it looks because the portal did most of the damage here.
Yeah, we just
I mean,
basically hit its fingers.
We
look, let's
disrupted a
not sell
ritual.
ourselves short.
We disrupted a ritual and that hurt it.
I mean, there was the ghost demon cyclops, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. From there, it was just vamping for time to make sure it couldn't get through.
And as you look at the finger, you do notice that the severed end appears to be slowly regenerating.
Can someone like make this not do that? There's at literally every single cleric I can see within range.
I'll try to figure out if I think some holy water will stop that. I might need to restock, but I still got some vials left.
You're you suspect holy might do extra damage. You don't know what would trigger its regeneration or not. It also is going extremely slow. It's even slower than fast healing style of regeneration because you think it's because it is separated across the planes. If this was on the abyss, you actually think maybe it wouldn't regenerate it at all and only the main body would, but you think maybe because it's been severed across the planes here, this piece is trying to do something. You don't know what that thing is. You also don't know if you destroy it, would that make it easier for the main body to regenerate as well? Or is this siphoning energy?
Yando, do you have like a really big box like the one you gave us?
That was the only one I had. It would take some time to make another.
Could it be cast back into the abyss or something? It can't be good. It can't stay here. That's for sure.
That that crevice is closed. There is no longer
Yeah,
a
no, yeah, he doesn't see. He knows there's none of that. But in terms of maybe someone opening a portal to do
Well,
that, but
I think giving it back its body part is also a bad idea.
Yeah,
Maybe if we put it in, uh, what's the opposite of the abyss? Like Elysium?
Yeah,
I think Elysium would get very angry if we
I don't
put
think
this
we.
fed them
inside
a
their
demon
area.
lord's finger.
I don't
Yeah,
think we
Yeah.
want to give them a finger.
You know what? It's abyssal energy, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna pull out my flower that I've been carrying around. Hey, little guy, do you want to eat the heck out of the energy this thing's using to regenerate? I'm gonna stick the flower pot on top of it, see if it does anything to
Just a
prevent
nice little
things.
flower bed.
Okay. So I guess you're placing the finger on top of the soil, not the pot on
Yeah,
top of it. But yeah, it will you see the flower definitely grows in size a lot faster than it's been before. It turns a murderous blood red streaked with black, and it seems to be shriveling the finger as this goes on.
We just need to
well,
get more of those flowers and put lots. And we'll have a nice little flower patch.
I don't know how to grow these, but maybe another elf might.
They're all looking at that flower with some sense of wonder. Uh, None of them are even like whispering anything. It does seem like none of them have seen that flower before, and they don't seem to have any rumors or legends, or no one's like, oh wait, is it this, is it that? They're just in awe that something is rapidly consuming a demon lord's finger just from being in close proximity to it.
Wouldn't recommend setting these on top of your familiar, but you know, we discovered them in the woods.
Do you
Yeah,
think anything bad could happen if it grows from a demon lord's finger?
I mean, I don't know what these flowers do at all, so
True
heck,
enough.
for what I know, we might be, making a demonic flower lord.
I'll
Either way, I think they'd be weak to fire, which, whoosh.
It does feel like it is outpacing the regeneration or the regrowth, and it is visually, you can see it changing the finger, but you think it would take a couple of days for it to fully consume it.
Mm,
Okay,
seems like a good idea,
I'm
I think.
think I'm going to let the flower eat the finger, which is like the weirdest fertilizer I could give this guy. But I don't have a better way of getting rid of the finger, so
Eindo
well,
definitely looks a little concerned, but also does not have a better suggestion. Where did you say you found this flower? What else has it consumed? What has it done?
so we were fine. We found it when we were out looking for the uh the original like thing that let us know that they were doing the ritual, like the talents, the like totem things that we told you about, and it was just sitting there sucking up demonic energies. And so I was like, all right, this seems interesting. I'll keep one. So here it is. I might go back to that field because I want another one. I was trying to see what would happen if I give it my magic. I This kind of pollutes the results. I want to take care of this one, sure, but like have another one that's just my energy.
It
And
did seem to eat other types of magic too.
Yeah, eventually. But demonic like, gestures at it, it does best with.
I can take a nature check or an arcana check now that you've been observing the flower for a while.
Okay, I will be doing that. Oh,
Neither of you, Dezi and Libbiel, could figure out much more than you've seen. You can tell that it seems to persist off magic more than off of anything else. It reminds you in some ways, the root structure it has, the pot you have it in, it does seem more like a parasite than um, a regular plant. It reminds you a lot of, you haven't seen them locally, but maybe in the Elven forest you would have seen some of these, but the more kind of orchids that live in trees that just have the very fibrous roots that kind of strain moisture out of the air. It almost seems like that kind of root system, and it seems like it doesn't need soil as much as it needs just to be protected from drying out too much. And
uh,
as far as you've seen, it does seem to feed on ambient magic. It has not so far drained anything off of your person, off of your spell slots or your magic items so far.
So it seems
okay,
like it's just when its roots are in something, not so much, at least at this point, when it's in close to something.
And it does feel like it might be slightly stronger at feeding on the the more negative energies of abyssal magic, of unholy magic. That seems like it has an easier time consuming that.
So I'll be watching this to make sure it doesn't like grow teeth or eyes or tentacles. But um, this is I don't have a better plan for the finger.
So Eindo and Dalamian and the rest of the agents, uh, I think we can head back to the main camp now.
Yeah.
We can leave
Okay.
some scouts here to more thoroughly investigate and document and make sure we haven't missed anything. But while you're healed, I'm sure you would like to rest and not be off in the middle of this horrible burning forest any longer.
I have some flower experiments to conduct. So yes.
I need a nap, and I need to write all this down and take some notes.
I need a few days to lay low.
Oh yeah, and a week nap would be good.
I mean, so you only were about maybe an hour away from the main camp. If you remember when things kind of blew up very suddenly, it was not where you thought the series of events would play out. So it doesn't take you long to get back to the main camp. And in fact, more of the further spread out agents who've been throughout the whole forest, who thought they'd be the front line and they'd be delaying until you could arrive, they're taking much longer to arrive back than you all do. And so time is passing at camp. We can go through that a little abstractly. Sounds like you wanted to do an expedition, though, to try to find a couple more of those flowers. Other than that,
Yes.
people are just resting in camp to get rid of their drained, it sounds like.
Yep.
What are the other
Yeah, for sure.
immediate things you want to take care of?
I'm gonna check on the horn.
Okay.
Like open the box, look at it, make
Yeah,
sure it hasn't like
the horn is
spread roots.
exactly as you expected it to be, no changes. It does look like the holy symbols and holy water that you're using to contain it are being consumed much less slowly. So the box seems to be working. And
Are we talking on the order of days here or on the order of some hours?
it's up to you all. It does seem like Eindo at least is
Well, Libby,
waiting to hear a little bit of reports from the field agents left behind just to make sure nothing else is going on. It does seem like they may have dispatched some messages via message spells or dream message or uh, the writing tablets that have a longer range, and they might be awaiting further orders on what they are to do. They have not been able to reopen the maze of the open road, so they know at this point they are planning on, if they have to, it's an overland march to get back to anywhere civilized.
yeah. I think Libby is going to want to get the flowers as like soon as possible, but it's after like a night's nap.
I guess we should also discuss where we're headed next to, but we can do that after some rest. I also want to send messages to my dad and Elsie, probably, but that's a tomorrow thing.
Is Libbiel wanting to get a flower this this day or a different day?
Um, on like the next immediate day, because I assume this one's like at night
Okay.
now.
And
So
are you
yeah.
trying to get the party to go with you? Are you trying to get some help from the Pathfinders if the party is busy, or from the elves? Do you have a what is your thought here? Because I know at least like Daegron, I
Um,
believe, has multiple days of drain to get rid of.
I probably go to the Pathfinders guy and like the main leader and be like, "Hey, do you have any volunteers to go with me?" And probably follow up with the elves in the same way. And the party she's already talked to and be like, "You guys don't have to, but if you'd like to, I'm gonna go grab me another couple of flowers."
What does
If
the
we
rest of the
had
party want
escorts,
to do?
I'd like to figure out what's happening at camp. Do you think you could bring me back a live one?
Yeah. Okay.
Vanarel and Daegron?
Yeah. So I think for Dagron is taking it easy for the next few days. I think he's going around camp and kind of enjoying the camaraderie of uh, the section who is celebrating their victory, but he takes it easy and is mostly just trying to recuperate after Uh, he, like I said, he was truly spent at the end of that, and it seems like every time they are really pushed this far, it seems to be coming back to things related to demons and things from the abyss. And I think he is getting, in some ways, a little more paranoid of it, but more resolute in his kind of will to protect the party from these things that are happening.
Vanarel?
All Vanarel wants to check on. He does have a, I think like he's reigned one by the end of this. So the first day is going to be spent resting and checking in with the Pathfinders who are still surveying the site that closed up, the portal into the abyss. After that, the only two things that Veneril wants to make sure to check in on is one, that flower that's eating the last of the demon finger, to make sure that's fully gone, destroyed, turned to plant food, whatever that is. Like that was whatever it was doing, that was effective. And then the other thing is just to check in with Libby because I believe she's the one that still has the horn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
She
we've
probably will give you full updates on the horn and everything.
Yeah.
Given that Daegron's kind of resting, I think Dezi would also want to check in with their crystal friend, whose name I'm blanking on right now.
Umka.
But Umka.
Okay,
I know
yeah.
Umka doesn't like being ignored, so I figured I'd at least
You
spend some
know,
time with her
actually, I do
until they
have
can
something
talk.
to do that night. I have to make a doll.
That's right. So give me your crafting check for making the doll for eventual Umka's body something.
Yeah, I guess.
So the initial body is fairly mundane. It's maybe not quite as fancy as you were hoping, maybe not quite as conducive to interchangeable Mr. Potato Head style limbs and decorations, but it is it looks maybe a lot like a it came out little little amorphous, a little bit almost like say a mud elemental or even a troll possibly. It's not definitely not pretty.
I mean, well, it's a good start for a first try.
I mean, Amka
I'm
can't
gonna.
see it, so how are you describing it to Amka, given how I described it to you?
So it's like a blob. It's not really. It's kind of the start of things. Um, it's not like the prettiest body right now. I'm not a very good crafter. I'm sorry, but I will continue to work on this, and I am open to suggestions.
Well, as long as I get multiple limbs I can have different weapons in, I'll be happy.
Weapons.
Yes,
Hmm.
you need weapons to protect yourself, don't you? Once you have a body, that's
y-
important.
Yes, but
Book, books are better
there's
protection.
there's easier ways to protect yourself. Having good friends who you treat well. Best, kind of the best way to keep yourself safe is to just be surrounded by people who will keep you safe.
Surrounded by other people with weapons.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, can I so you're saying I should learn mind control spells. Okay, I
No,
understand. No?
uh, just talk to them. It's
Oh.
easier.
Oh.
Doesn't take a spell slot.
That that's true. I don't know how many of those I get. Um, okay. Maybe that works. But if I need to have people to protect me, I think the body needs to not make them scared of me. And I think the
I
blobby body probably, you said it looked a little bit like a troll. I don't think that would make them like me.
Yeah, I will make another attempt. Do you want to try it out still, or do you
Uh,
feel
I'll
like you want to wait?
wait. I,
Okay. You know, I could also make it just a cute body.
hmm, I don't know. I'll think about that. I'm worried though that if the body is well made enough that I'm able to interact with it, I may not be able to separate from it afterward. So I think I
Oh,
only get one
okay.
try at this.
So I'd rather make it the best body ever. Got you.
Maybe we could find somebody to make you a really nice body. I mean, I don't think making bodies is our specialty.
I mean, I kind of want to do it myself.
Amka seems content as long as progress or experimentation is being done. It seems like Amka's sense of time is very long, and as long as it doesn't feel like you're ignoring the idea, it's happy to wait for a good result.
Okay. So, I guess that's the nightly activity before we go off get some flowers the next day.
So the next
I'll
day,
be like, "Hey, do you want to come with me, Anka? I can like verbally describe everything that's happening."
it sounds like it's going to like that. I mean, I know Daegron did that for it a couple weeks back, and it seemed to enjoy the sightseeing trip, even if it asked a lot of weird questions, and some of them, like the ones tonight, made it feel a little bit like it's maybe a tyrant in like a baby tyrant. It wants to rule the world or something, or you can't quite tell if it's out of fear of being trapped alone again forever, or if it actually has those tendencies outside of fear as well. But it definitely has a different world outlook. But so
Okay.
some of you set out the next day. I think it sounded like it was Vanarel and Libbiel were heading out where Dezi and Daegron were staying in camp.
Vanna, are you coming?
Yeah,
And
Okay.
definitely.
it sounds like a couple of the elves are going. They were very curious about these flowers that they don't know about.
Me too. Just
And
make sure you
can
don't
you
set them down on the root system. That could be bad.
don't worry, I got my special little spade and my special flower pot.
So I will need a survival check for tracking from either of you. You can also rely on the elves if neither of you have that, but they probably wouldn't be as good as you would be if you were trained in this.
I am untrained in survival.
I'm hoping the ranger
Uh,
might be.
I am trained in it. Would this be a blind roll or
Public is
public
fine.
or?
Hold on, I'm going to cast uh my discern secrets on you so you can have a little bit of a
That's
small
Let me
bonus.
reveal that. You
it's only recall knowledge, right? Or is it just
Oh,
oh,
yes.
never mind.
Huh.
Oh,
I would allow that on this case.
that's fair. It's
It's
seeking.
it's a seek type activity. It's not
Okay,
exactly
I
seek.
will pop that in, and we are on our way.
Okay. You find your
Perhaps.
way you find your way back to where you took them. This is a couple of days of travel. If you remember, this was um, probably about 7 days of travel. So by the time you get
Right.
back, everyone else in camp will be fully healed. Like a week would have passed, and maybe there'll be plans for what the Pathfinders want to do. But you do find another field of these. They look like they're drooping a little more than before. I think you see about 3 that look like they're still alive. You see about 10 to 12 that you think have just died.
I,
All right, looks like we need to immediately feed them, which good thing I haven't cast anything today. I'm going to go around and feed them my spell slots, which sounds like a bad idea, but like she has to.
Okay. And I can take a nature check. I would also take, I guess, crafting or arcana or occultism at worst DCs if you don't have nature for any of your transplanting activities.
Okay. I will be attempting the Arcana check.
You managed to successfully save 2 more flowers. The other 2 that were still alive, uh, your attempts caused too much root damage, or they were already too far gone and you just didn't realize it. So you have 2 more of these magic eating flowers.
Yes. So I'm gonna feed these two that we've successfully rescued into pods. My two of my three level 3 slots.
Yes, you might need to find another solution long term, but at least for the couple of days, you're using up most of your spells, most of your high level spell slots to keep 3 flowers alive.
Yeah,
But
well,
you do get back to camp uneventfully. The elves are comparing notes. Um, their best guess is that it is a mutation of one of the minor kind of common lilies of orchids of the area here that seems to have evolved to feed on abyssal energy in particular, but magic energy possibly in general, but abyssal energy in particular, because the area was so infused with it. It was a good energy source to evolve to use. As far as they can tell, there is nothing malicious about the plant itself. It is simply a plant. There's no
so
intelligence behind it. There's no guiding.
Libby decides to be absolutely fair. She gives one of the plants to the elves and the other one to um, Dezi, and she's like, "All right, I guess I'll take the demonic one."
I'm gonna raise this one on healing energy.
The elves say they haven't seen things directly like this before, and they can't tell if it was purely feeding on the abyssal energy or if it was even slightly purifying the land of the abyssal energy. If it
I'm hoping purifying.
and they you haven't had them long enough to tell what their full life cycle is to know, do they concentrate it into some form of thing, a seed, um, a bulb that they can reproduce off of, uh, pollen that bees can take to make something out of. They wouldn't be surprised if there is some form of magical or alchemical product that might come about from these if they are cared after for a while. Whether or not it's a useful product, they are not sure. If it is just feeding on the energy, it would likely be the parts they couldn't use, and it might be just kind of poison abyssal energy that kind of gets accreted somewhere. If it's the purification side, it might be the inverse of that, where it might be generating some sort of useful healing component or holy component. They don't know yet, you don't know yet, but those are their hypotheses on things to watch for over time. And as you get back to the camp after your, week-long uh, scenic journey through the Thinendar forest, you do notice that most of the camp is starting to pack up. The two of you who were left behind while they were off getting flowers, you've heard that the orders have come in. They are going to leave a small contingent behind to keep doing the research, but they've decided to abandon the full-scale archaeological dig of the site here. Even if they've stopped the current problem, they don't want to risk another one, and until they can spare larger efforts and reopen the Maze of the Open Road, they don't want to have such a large-scale presence here. So they are planning to hike back overland. The plan is to go through Brevoy, skirt the edge of Numeria, and eventually get back to Kionin. Kind of taking the long way. There's some bits and pieces there that you feel like they are eliding a couple of bits from your knowledge of the maps. There is like a jump or two that's not quite explained. And it does seem like Eindo is speaking around the plan in a way that sounds good on the surface and is probably hiding a secret that he's not wanting to share too broadly. But the plan is once they get to Kionin, uh, they can have plans to get back to Absalom from there and get the Pathfinder agents home. He says the four of you are welcome to travel with them as far as Kionin. He understands, though, if you want to, from there, keep heading west to head back to your home, or if you want to follow along to Absalom as well for more research, that is also an option for you all. Dalamian is going to also extend the invitation to travel, and she would like it if the four of you are willing to stay a while in Kionin and relax there, rest there, answer some scholars' questions about demon lords, because you've now encountered at least the cultist of two of them and been successful. While sure, the Mendevian Crusaders have lots of experience with some other demon lords, it's typically a lot less successful, or at least less dramatically successful as your efforts have been. And they want to see if they can learn anything that they could use to help with their ongoing war with Tree Razor.
I think
Okay.
during that time too, with when Dezi and Daegron are around at the camp, speaking of Tree Razor and things like that, um, he would go to Dezi one day and had said to him, Desi, I know you talked about these elves and seem to know a lot about demons. I'm not a well-read orc, but where, where's this come from?
Um, oh, Tree Razor. Yeah, I've been talking a lot about to the elves about that since they've been here. Presumably, Desi has had some conversation over these days too. I mean, I knew a little bit about it from my religious background, but Tree Razor goes back a long time. The elves been battling him. I actually don't know the full story here, but I think Desi would be picking up the details. I don't recall the full history of Tree Razor.
The bits that you would hear, Tree Razor is a aspiring demon lord, a proto demon lord, who lives on this plane in a place called Tanglebriar, which is a portion of the Kionin forest that he's taken over and made his own domain. The best stories you've heard is he tried to supplant his father as a demon lord and failed and got exiled to Galarian in punishment. It's been a very, very long, like centuries or even millennia long fight that seems like, aside from the initial outburst when he arrived and claimed and corrupted this area, it's been more or less held in check. There's always little bits and pieces here and there when he tries to expand a little bit, but the elves have generally kept him from gaining ground at at the cost of life. They have definitely not been. It's not a sustainable war, but they have not lost ground yet. And Tree Razor himself is said to look like a giant two-legged lizard with tiny front arms, like aka a Tyrannosaurus,
Huh.
who wields a giant
Uh,
axe, is what he's known to
oh,
do.
it's
How
in his
does he do
tiny
that
arm.
effectively with those
He
tiny
I
wields.
arms?
understand it's probably with his arms, but I'm thinking Glavinus from Monster Hunter, where he's
Ooh,
like holding it with his tail.
That would make a lot more sense. I agree.
I'll share the artwork for Tree Razor. This one's actually more draconic and less Tyrannosaurus. They have slightly changed it over the
oh,
years.
interesting.
Ridley, I didn't know you had a brother.
I know.
Almost like pterodactyl, like almost close to. Yeah, no.
Or
Yeah.
gargoyle, or
Either way,
yeah.
I think during that time, Daegron would be spending that week recuperating and speaking with elves, and I probably hanging around with Desi if he was going to speak with them, and maybe not necessarily understanding the full complexities of what they're talking about, but trying to pick up things here or there um, as he kind of feels he needs to learn how to protect everyone better from this.
Yeah. Similarly, I think Desi would be trying to pick up more about the elves, especially given their ties to his mother.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's just like if anyone is going to have more information to help us deal with the horn, seems like they might.
So I'm going to slightly pull back our time scale and look at this from a little bit of a broader side right now. Um, so you're going to be traveling with them for a number of weeks at this point. The journey to get from where you are to Kiona is going to take some amount of time. They are planning to use some elf gates for portions of this, which will get somewhat like the Maze of the Open Road, but more teleportation instantaneous to jump around some of the nations. Because obviously, from the side they're arriving from, with the route they were describing, would have passed through. I think it would have passed. I think it would have passed through Rasmir. It would have got very close to the Gravelands. So they definitely were trying to avoid some of those problems. It also felt like they were trying to avoid some of the more um, disreputable river kingdoms along the way as well. So they had a path that's getting there, and there is some use even of teleportation magic not backed by the gates, which is very slow for a party of this size. They don't have enough casters to do that all at once. Excuse me, but there's definitely places where some of the agents are spinning off to go on other missions and rejoining other lodges along the way. So the group is getting smaller as time goes on. And eventually, you will arrive in Kionin. And I think we won't do much more of that portion of the story tonight. The things that will happen mechanically, you will be leveling from 8 to 11. So this will be ready for the start of Spore War next week. We won't do all that on stream tonight. I didn't prep you guys to know what to handle, but you will be leveling to level 11. Uh, Dalamian will be provisioning you some of the missing treasure. We'll figure out how much you're short from, and I'll get that number for you between sessions. I know we're also close to our halfway point. I'm going to try to say we're going to go a half hour long and then end at that point. So we're not going to take the break now, but we'll end it in another half hour. Does that work for everyone?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sure.
And
Yep.
so I wanted to pivot now that we're through Act 1 and Act 2. So we're through what I'm kind of considering an extended prologue for the Spore War AP. I know we don't always do the more non-role play sides on stream, but I wanted to have an example for other groups that wanted to just show checking in on the routine, seeing how things are going, what things we need to revisit or work on. So a little bit of like a session 0 style feel, but mid-campaign. So um, are there things you want to see different? Are there things you want more of, less of? Are there um, missing threads that you want to see revisited that we've dropped? Just how are people feeling at this point of the campaign?
Well, I'm not really sure. Like for Libby, this has probably never been mentioned like on stream, but she was originally going to be more of a like a true witch where she had like potions and things and stuff. I'm wondering if there's going to be like any more interaction with Libby and like her patron. Don't know if that's going to be like a good fit for like constructed campaigns like this, but like
I'll have to think
yeah,
about the patron side. I wasn't thinking that much about that. I will admit. I know I threw it in there just once when I was trying to give a clue, an interesting clue. I had the patron step in. Um,
yeah.
the
Her
flowers were
patrons,
given as an effort toward just the apothecary bee style build. Again, I don't actually have a plan for the flowers. The flowers, we will discover what they can do as time goes on, but they were meant to be one of the interesting reagents that could be part of your alchemical toolkit. That was what
yeah,
they were meant to be.
that might be something I pivot into. I don't know if we're going to be doing any sort of rebuilding for the characters. I know we have to switch my background because it just becomes completely irrelevant now.
Yes. So the idea was between now and the next session, um, definitely change the background, ideally to one of the Spore War backgrounds. They are slightly stronger than regular backgrounds. They all have an extra power above and beyond what a background usually gives you. And if you can flavor it based on the experiences you've had for the character over these first 8 levels to make the background still make sense for what were you doing before the next campaign. That is ideal. If none of them fit, great. Just let me know and we'll work around it. And if there's other
Okay.
retraining you want to do for other feats that you're not happy with how they worked out, there is enough time to probably fit in 1 or 2 feats worth of retraining. I wouldn't want to see a complete rebuild of a character, but if there's 1 or 2 feats you want to change around, that's totally fine.
I don't think I want to like take her out of the archaeologist thing because that is actually really interesting, especially since archaeologists the job can make up for not having like a more permanent rogue in the party. So
Yeah,
um,
they're definitely.
I'm not too interested in completely pivoting to the original vision because that's not what I'm looking for here. Just like Maybe think about like some of my feats and see if they were working for me or not.
And I want to say, along with the way the flowers are meant to be a little bit of a storytelling device for both the party to use and for me to use, I am intending that's kind of also the role that the horn is in. That is the role Amka is in. And it was going to be the role the finger was in, but I think the finger is going to be gone. So,
Yeah, I'm just gonna feed that thing to a flower. I don't want that thing around.
and so these are things that will keep reoccurring as much as the party wants to engage with them. If the party decides they don't want to keep figuring out what the flowers can do, or you just want to make them be a pure alchemical component and don't want to worry about them anymore, that will also be fine. In some cases, maybe they might have, at least with maybe with Amka, maybe I would have a downside if you completely ignore Amka. But these are meant to be, I won't say MacGuffins. I won't say um, GM tools only. I want these to be tools that you all feel free to try to invent uses for and use them to push the story at times. So I hope that was coming across. I felt like the horn probably didn't because the horn is just too scary, but the flowers I felt like they were working and Amka I felt was working.
Yeah, I think those two work really fine. I think pivoting the horn to just like a pure GM tool to fuck with this is okay.
Yeah.
I like the
I
idea.
think Amka has an interesting thing where, if things go well and we create a body that works well, it maybe even be almost like an extra familiar into the party. But if things go wrong, we'll see what happens.
I mean, also
Really want it
if
to
things
be
go
Daegron.
well, Amka could also be a replacement PC if a PC dies. If
Hmm.
Yes,
if you've
probably.
trained Amka enough to at least not be sociopathic.
I don't know if you've noticed the very subtle um, Libby talking with Amka to change Amka's mind, but not by completely disagreeing with what it's saying, but
Yeah,
just
I noticed.
altering kind of some of the logic there.
So we heard a lot from Libbiel. How about the other three for just a mid-campaign check-in? Are you happy with how things have gone so far? Are there things you want more of, less of, things you're concerned about?
Yeah, I'm enjoying things as they've been going. I think we've had a good amount of RP. Like I said earlier, I do. I think I'm enjoying trying to bring more into the in between scenes and things like that. Maybe get some more actual conversations for a few of the things we want to without necessarily dragging it to a full halt. But I'm enjoying that we're going to step into something with a bit more lasting and longer, like through fare of a storyline here. So as long as we're getting what we're getting right now, I think it's going to be a good time. And I'll let you know if anything comes up. For him, in terms of like his brother and things like that, I'm gonna have him sending back word and letters and probably messengers when the pathfinders are going back. So that will I'll have something for that also, but I don't expect that to be a major component of needing to worry about it. He's off doing his thing, and I think in his mind, his brother's doing doing something a lot more than what they were doing on the island. So
Yeah, and I think
it'll be interesting to see where they go in this campaign, though, and that may change things.
similarly for Dezi, like I'm assuming, I would like to maintain. I guess I think things have been going pretty well, and yeah, the conversations as our characters get to know each other more have been interesting too. I would like to figure out how we're going to maintain kind of some of our original ties because I think they've been important to us to the town, like Daegron's brother, my mother, father, and Elsie oddly has has become a thing for Desi. So you know.
Okay, that's something I'll need to think more about. I think I have not been thinking enough about that ahead of time, so I should do some more of thinking on that.
That's fair, and I
Thanks for
don't
calling it out.
expect it to dominate, but just to be able to have those callbacks periodically and maintain some semblance of a tie there would probably be important in character.
There, I will say there's at least two or three things that I had that were behind some pretty high rolls, so we're unlikely to show up early on. They might show up later. So there are I had some things there, but they probably would have needed about a 15 plus on a random roll, and you don't know what roll it was, but that would have had some more aspects on some of those. But we'll see if it comes back up or not. And if not, I'll need to seed something else in instead. And one thing I will mention, at least for the start of Spore War, probably not the very first session, but after that, it is likely to slow down a little bit. There's a really long role play, uh, almost an influence minigame, but it's a little more hidden than an influence minigame. But so if it might feel slow, and we'll definitely need to check in. We'll probably do those check-ins between sessions, not live like this one, on just how that's feeling. So it will slow down. It will feel a little more pure role play. Lots of NPCs to meet and deal with. Uh, Probably a couple sessions maybe with no combat at some point. I don't know exactly when that will fall, but that will be somewhere in the early stages. Just to know what's coming up.
Um, Something I might pitch for you is perhaps turning these check-ins to like another day where we do like a fireside kind of like where we're at mentally kind of thing.
Hmm. I can.
Just if you want to have more content to
I
play
don't
with.
think I need more content necessarily, but I think at least scheduling maybe even one per book, that might make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because I also know
Yeah,
we're all busy people, and I don't want to do a second weekly thing. That'd be way too much. But I think scheduling either
Hey,
if I know the book's going to be short, like today's was, or if it's not going to be short and it's going to go long or normal, putting it on a second day if we could find a time near the end of a book, I think would make a lot of sense.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
things
sounds
have
good to me.
been rather fast paced, so just the time to kind of reflect in character and somewhat out of character at those moments, because I know sometimes when I'm talking about what my character is thinking, it gives me some ideas.
Well, to be absolutely fair to Faenliss, the fast pace of this was because we all wanted to just get to Spore War. And we're getting there now, and it's going to probably slow down a lot now.
Well,
Not like
no, I more mean the pacing in game. Like we've been running from demons, trying to make sure they didn't appear. Like there's been a lot very quickly in game.
I need to meet with other witches though, because I need to learn more spells.
Like one thing
That'd be
I know I
nice.
noticed this session was at the end of the combat, I couldn't tell when to jump back in to tell you what was happening around. And I tried jumping in 3 times before I finally found a fourth time that I could get the dialogue in because I didn't want to interrupt the inter-party discussion. And if you all have any feedback for me on if it feels like I'm rushing you too much, I'm trying to jump in too fast, I would love to know what would help you have more space for those party roleplay moments.
Um, is there um, a raise a card system we can plug into this pretty
Yes,
easily, where
press
you
the
can raise
done
a
button.
card and say, "Hey, I do have narration we can get to, but it's on the back burner
I will look
until
into
you
that.
guys are ready."
I don't want to use, the X card, for instance, because that has too much meaning
No,
for real use. But I have, if I can make a similar card that I can use to and
yeah,
not be as visual. If it's a smaller little thing that just pops up and says, you know, there is more
yeah,
box
maybe
text.
pops up for everybody but the observer, something.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah. I'll play around with that between sessions. I bet I can make something that I can just an image I share that doesn't go to the stream. That is just
Yeah, and even have a one where it's like vamp for time, things are on fire.
yeah. I actually would like the idea if I can find one that anyone can press, not just me, for the moments when you have found the cool role play moment that you want to make sure we don't miss. And
That would be amazing. Yes.
let me look into that on Foundry. I think there must be something I can find like that, and that I
Get
think would help.
together with Liv, maybe. Liv is a big Foundry user,
Yep.
so
Let's see. Those are the main things I wanted to check base on in terms of just how things are feeling. It seems like people are generally happy, but a little more of the a little more pulling on the threads from the beginning, from the Rusthenge portion of the Osprey's Cove connections, keeping those a little more alive and front and center, and not just the we are saving them by being away from them type of story. And finding a little bit more depth there would be useful, is what I'm hearing as the main point for me to kind of iterate on story wise. Does that sound
Yeah.
like a correct summary?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so. It's
Great.
it's just a case of following the. I think at the very least, it's the character's motivation for at least sticking around in Keonan for time. Is this was a threat to their town, kind of thing, and they're not just going to leave it and leave it for someone else when Rusthenge is right there.
Here's a good question. So the horn destruction ritual, is that something you want to see happen in the campaign, or is that something you
I was
want to see
wondering
as an
if it
off
made
stream?
sense as a. I mean, I don't know when I want to say Rusthenge is to level 18. I could see it.
Spore War is
Sorry,
11 to
Star
20.
Wars. Oh, it is to level 20. Okay, I was gonna say I could see it being good final end content potentially, but I don't know.
I would love to see the end of the horn personally,
Okay.
but
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, a good objective to have to find out more from Keonan and what's going on there in our efforts to destroy this.
Okay.
And that could be something where we need to learn things from this to really learn how we're going to iron out all the details of it.
So
I
I
know
will definitely
we have a
plan to
few things here and there.
I will find a place to fit it into the story as best I can. Um, and probably pretty soon upon arriving in Kyonin, you will at least learn the full details of the ritual needed. They will have enough
Yeah.
research that you can fine tune all the missing pieces that you don't know. And then it's still a matter of how do you do it, but at least you will have the template complete.
Yeah, no, I
That
think
makes
that'd be
sense
good.
to me.
it'll be kind of a shame that like after Spore War, Libby gets put up in the closet as a nice little suit. But I do love this character a lot. I just kind of wish I could use her for more after this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that does make it tough because I've been having a lot of fun with Dezi. So
Well, we've still got 10 or so levels to go, so it's not like we're at the end of the road
Yeah,
already.
No, yeah.
I
and
miss
this
you
is good.
guys.
This is
Goodbye.
the
No,
long haul now.
I mean, as I was considering it, I was calling this Act 2, and I don't know how I'm gonna label the Spore War portion. Is it Act 3 for all 3 books, or is it Acts 3, 4, and 5? But however you view it, the Spore War will be about 3/5 of the total runtime of the campaign compared to the 2/5 we've done so far, as my rough estimate for how long stuff will take. Maybe a little bit longer from adding in content for the Horn's destruction. So there's still more than half to go. So don't feel like we're at the halfway point or the almost done point. Uh, but that's where things are standing.
sorry, we are off stream now or no?
We are not. We're still live.
Okay, just checking on that.
I was keeping this as a
I'm trying to not. I feel like my character has some spoilers things that I want to keep secret from possibly liver audience.
sure.
But yeah,
Well, we can
All
do a
right.
little bit more
Hear
follow up
that,
off stream
chat?
if
We're
you need to.
tantalizing it for you.
So, anything else that you think is worthwhile from a example check-in for people running adventure paths and stories, and on healthy ways to do a mid-campaign check-in? If not, we can end soon, but I just want to give you all a chance, one more chance to anything you want to weigh in on.
I think I'm all set with it. It's like I said, I'm happy with things as they're going. As long as you bring your concerns forward, I think it always helps the campaign run smoother at the very least.
agreed. Oh, I guess the one thing is maybe doing this chat is probably good. It might make sense to do. I don't know if you have plans to do at least one more before, like after a couple books, another check-in like this.
Yeah, that was this. I might try to do one after every book. We'll see. I think that might be useful.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that. Sorry.
No problem. But it sounds like I
And
think we're wrapping. Oh, go ahead, Libbiel.
I was going to say, Vanna, we haven't heard much from you on things you'd like to see.
I honestly, I've been enjoying the prologue to the adventure path. So I mean, there's nothing that came to mind as far as like adding that in. I do think that once Spore War is underway, I mean, at least just for Vanarel, with everything that's happened to him up until now, he's got some things to untangle. Just the fact that, well, he kind of used to be an elf with Dromar heritage, and now he's this Vishkanya with Dromar heritage, and going into a giant elf-based campaign. I don't know if he's got issues like to work through there or not, but it's certainly something that I'm looking forward to seeing. And it sounds like with the first part of the AP being that large roleplay chunk, there's a chance to untangle that a little bit for him.
Here, the therapists in Kyonin are excellent.
Yeah, that's true. And then as far as going from here up into level 11, like there's some mechanical things that I need to retrain. I would like to, but that's just a feat retraining swap out sort of thing. That's nothing that's going like to hinder or change uh, the track that Vanarel or I think any of the party is on. So
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I think that puts us at a good stopping point. Let me